All right, Chargeway Podcast, the first podcast of 2025. And of course, we are jumping in and looking at a new programming cycle. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Ash. Ash, how are you?
I'm great, Ed. How are you?
I'm really good. I've got that sort of New Year's buzz that I think everyone gets to a degree. It's been a really exciting start to the year. We're only a week in and just feels like there's lots of cool things happening already. So pretty excited.
Agreed. 2025 is going really well so far.
Yeah, nothing's gone wrong in 2025. You beauty. All right. Well, look, we know what you came here for, and that is to find out what's in the next program. We've already done a few sneak previews around the gym, and there's a lot of hype about this next program. So we thought we would get stuck in. And Ash, I'll let you kick us off with a muscle up and upper body pulling program that we're doing.
Yes, team. And maybe just before I start with that first feature, I'd like anyone new to the podcast, I want them to understand that these podcasts, our programming podcasts, are about explaining the Chargeway cycles. So the programming cycles, which generally go for 6 weeks each. And we write them ourselves, and we write them for our members in order to make our members better. And the things that me and Ed are going to talk about right now are really just about the repeated features of the cycle, but it's by no means the whole programming cycle is not going to be explained in this next 10 minutes. It's just about some of these repeated features that we're going to be like zooming in on. And to start that off, one of the first ones we'll talk about is we've got a muscle up / pull up program. And the whole point of this program is for people that have got pull ups, like to build chest to bar pull ups. If you've got chest to bar pull ups, we want to build strict muscle ups. If you don't have a pull up yet, we want to build you towards a strict pull up. And the whole cycle is built around these. And we're trying to work on components like the parts that we're weakest at. We're trying to really focus on strengthening those and just getting everyone to level up in their upper body pulling. And we're going to be doing some weighted work with pull ups, chest to bars, or muscle ups. And we're actually going to be grabbing the bands out and doing some very strict pull-ups with a band assistance for those who don't have a strict pull-up as yet. It's going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And I think, the muscle up and developing those high skill gymnastics is something we're super passionate about giving the opportunity for anyone who walks into Charge having. But that doesn't mean that it's appropriate for you to try and do a muscle up on your first week at Charge. So if currently you're working towards that first pull up, like Ash said, this is the same program that you need to do to work towards, that first muscle up or that fifth muscle up or whatever it is. So that's the beauty of a program that has been thought through like this. There's something in there for everyone. Something else you're going to see in this cycle is back squats, and the variation that we're doing on the back squat is 1 1/4 back squats. And we're going to obviously demonstrate this and talk through the points of performance. But what the 1 1/4 back squat is effectively you go down, come up a quarter of the way, believe it or not, and then go back down and then ascend all the way. So you're doing more than one rep per rep, if that makes sense, which it doesn't really when I say it like that. But the point of these is that that sort of first quarter, it's great for strengthening that bottom portion of the squat and really working on that part where people find it difficult to get out of the squat. And you'll really get to own that bottom position. If you're somebody who's still working on a full range of motion squat, we'll do a slight variation on this with the same emphasis of just working on that sticky bottom position. But we're probably going to stick with a hold, which is something we've seen in the cycle previously. And at the end of this cycle, we will still test a heavy 1RM back squat. So really looking forward to seeing this variation go down.
It's going to build some very strong people and strong back squats. It's going to be great to see the results. And it's also fun. This variation is actually quite fun. I find anyway. Depends on your version of fun, right?
Well, I think what's worth saying is like this is a great tool for developing somebody who's new to the squat, like if you haven't done much strength training, this is an incredible variation to learn that bottom position really well. If you're somebody who's done back squats for the last 15 years, and I'm sort of in that boat, it's really nice to change it up. Like I love back squatting; it's probably my favorite exercise, but it's good to do a variation on it. Like it's just nice to have these like fun. I guess it almost feels like a new exercise when you do it like this. So really, really cool.
Yeah, I agree completely. That's why variation is very handy. Like it's variation for your body. Your body needs different stimulus, but also for your mind. Like you want to really go for it. It's something new. It's something. Yeah, it's just a different way of pushing hard, and it's going to have good results.
Yeah, acquiring new skills is part of the fun of CrossFit. And when you're in that first stage and you're seeing things for the first time, it's really exciting. And we want to keep that going. There's no point in time where you've clocked it and you're like, hey, I've got nothing more to learn. So we want to keep challenging you. And this is just a variation on an old classic, if you will.
Completely. And talking about a variation on an old classic,
yeah.
The next feature is the bench press. So it's going to be really great to integrate the bench press back into our program. It hasn't been in there for a while. And we've realized that there's going to be a really good use for this to come in and out of the program in order to build upper body pushing strength, connection between the lower body and the upper body, which is a big part of a bench press. And also, so people with really open shoulders, maybe they're not as strong, you could say, the barbell bench press is going to be magic for them. They're going to be able to get some tension happening and get really strong with pushing. And then people with tighter shoulders, and maybe that could show as stronger shoulders, but they don't have really great mobility, we're going to ask them to do dumbbell bench press. And that's going to give them a greater range of motion and going to actually open the chest more as they do each rep. And these things are going to build some really great strength for everyone. There's going to be a lot of little technique points we're going to go through in the class. We're really excited on how to do this and how we're going to do this, and also how it's going to carry across to other exercises, which is really important, and building strong human beings, which is our whole game.
Love it. There's going to be a bit of hype around the bench, I reckon, Ash. So it'll be a well-attended day, the first bench press day, and probably all of them, actually. So first, some Olympic lifting and real power development in this program. We're doing the power snatch. We did an EMOM in the barbell cycle a few months back, or cycles back, if you will, just before Christmas, actually. And we worked on a combination of power snatches from the floor and hang power snatches. And we change the reps as we go. This EMOM is going to be it's effectively a 14-minute EMOM with some rest in there. And it's going to really nicely build towards doing heavy single power snatches and work on those skills from the floor and from the mid thigh as well. So the power snatch is something we've seen some real improvements in broadly in the group, and looking forward to hitting it in this sort of complex type way.
Exactly. Yeah. Look, an EMOM. Everyone loves an EMOM. You keep so engaged, and it's great to lift on the clock, I think. So another part of working towards getting better at Olympic lifting and strength as a whole is we're working on the hang, power clean, and jerk as well. And it's going to be a similar format to how we're doing the power snatch. So it's going to be an EMOM format. And we start off by doing higher reps. We're building a foundation, really getting strong. And we know the open's coming up soon too. And then we're whittling down those reps down to really short reps and lifting as heavy as we possibly can. And I just want to talk just quickly. So we're talking about the features, the main features, maybe the sexy parts of the program, but the warm-ups and cool-downs that accompany these parts, they're actually designed to make you better at these sexy features. And there's so many great things that are happening in these warm-ups and cool-downs. Yeah, people are going to enjoy them, if that's a thing.
It's a thing. And I like how, you just made me think that we should start calling them cool-ups and warm-downs. I just feel like that should be the variation on them.
I think we should definitely do that.
Hey, one of the other cycles, or things you'll see in this cycle, I should say, is a lower body strength piece. And I don't like to use words that cheapen exercises, but I guess some people might refer to these exercises as like accessories or auxiliary exercises. The reason I don't want to use those words is that I see these as main movements. Like you can get epically strong doing these movements. And if you want a strong 1RM back squat, this is the stuff that gets you there. It's not just like this weird seasoning on top. It's actually the bones of it. So in this quality AMRAP, we've got some hip extensions, which is going to be really, really nice to work with a barbell if you're capable of that. Also some pause squat box jumps. This is utilized by a lot of high-level Olympic lifting programs, but obviously can be scaled. And really what we're trying to do is be explosive out of the bottom of the squat with our body weight. And then we're working on some one-legged squats. We can do that either in the variety of a pistol with some assistance or even just like a lunge. So really, really nice complement to the 1 1/4 back squats that we talked about a bit earlier.
Yeah. And so our goal is to make the strongest, healthiest, fittest human beings that we can with our members and ourselves. And we do this programming. And really, okay, so a back squat is such a great exercise, but that's not the only exercise we want to be strong at. We want to be strong at a lot of variations of different things. And then if you choose the right combinations, they both help each other, like help bring out the best of each exercise. So, a barbell hip extension is definitely going to help strengthen a back squat, and deadlifts and other exercises, same as these pause box jumps. And yeah, you guys are going to really enjoy that and get some great benefits out of those. Now I'm going to move on to the last feature of this cycle, the main feature, and we're doing a bit of straight arm strength work. And what that is really our aim is to make our shoulders, the whole shoulder capsule, our whole upper body, like as strong as possible. Sometimes if you don't have these sort of movements in your life, then often arms can be a lot stronger than the shoulder girdle. And then that creates problems. And also problems or not, it actually creates an imbalance in strength, and you'll be missing out on a lot of gains and like being really stable overhead. And look, there's so many reasons, and there's so many things to talk about with this that we're going to have another podcast about straight arm strength. And but basically, guys, you're going to have a 16-minute piece where you're going to work on some really good shoulder and core movements that are going to carry across to you being better at many things. I'm excited.
Yeah, and we talk about that variation earlier, Ash, like straight arm strength and doing a session of straight arm strength. It's such an awesome variation of upper body strength. And, so much in CrossFit involves bending or straightening the elbow. And you have to be mindful of the volume you do on that. But this is a really nice complement to that. And you get to do some fun stuff like looking at the exercises in this program. Looks like it's going to be pretty fun, like CrossFit fun.
Yeah, definitely. Exercise fun, hey? So, all right, team, thank you very much. We'd love it if you listen to the next podcast. They're going to be released in the next few weeks. They're going to really G you up on like the whys of why we do a lot of things and how we operate and build strong humans.
Thanks so much, team. Thanks, Ash. We'll catch you on the next one, guys.
Thanks, Ed.